Hello and welcome to our ArchiCAD series. At this time we're going to walk you through a simple setup on how to use ArchiCAD. Now we've started ArchiCAD on our desktop, we're looking at it. It's going to pop up the license agreement or reminder for the license agreement for an educational package, which you'll see here in just a second. It basically states that yes, you're going to use this for educational purposes. You can get this free from Graphisoft if you're a student, so it'd be more than justified for you to hop out and get that and use it for your classroom or for yourself. There it is right there. Click on that window, it goes away. Now, after you do that, it's going to pop up the startup wizard. So just give us a second, we'll do that. Now the startup wizard is real simple to use. The startup wizard allows us to create new projects or open projects. Right now we want to make sure we use the default template and we use the default profile. That profile becomes highly important to you later. Make sure you always use the default profile even when you're opening a project you've used before. Otherwise you don't know who's been on there before and who's used what profile and done what with it. Now once we've selected that, we'll simply go in and we'll start walking through the program. It's going to load up its libraries and it's going to show us the interface. Now the interface is real simple and it's not that difficult to use. This interface has the drawing tools and design tools down our left hand side of our screen, our drawing space in the center with elevation markers noting where the cameras are for the different elevations that are default and there for you. And down the right hand side of our screen we have our navigator bar. Across the top we have our simple standard toolbar, and below that our interface toolbar depending on which tool we're using. So follow the cursor down, watch it. It'll show you what the different tools are. Just kind of buzz over them, notice how they pop up. It explains it. There is a more function, and under more there are things like wall ends and camera locations and lighting and things like that. We don't use that much in the beginning. We get to it much more in depth later. Now, if we go along, we'll notice that the default settings bar or the interface bar changes depending on which tool we use. Now, if we're using walls, we have walls. If we have doors, we get doors up, windows. It just depends on what we're doing. It allows us to actively interface with that and do what we want to do. Now, once that's all done, we'll simply go in, we'll start drawing a wall. One of the things we need to do when we draw a wall is determine what kind of wall it is. In this case, we're doing an exterior wall. So once I've got that, I can then simply select on the wall tool and go in and adjust the cut fill. The cut fill allows us to go in and set properties to this wall. In this case, we want to use 2x6 with siding because that's what we normally build with in our area. 2x6 exterior walls, that way we can get the R factor we need, and then siding in this case because I don't want to mess with brick right now. But I'm going to pick a different siding than normal. It has 4-inch, 6-inch, 8-inch. It also has a standing 8-inch, which looks a lot like a batten board siding. So I'm simply going to pick that for my exterior walls. Now, as I notice, I'm going to leave my top edge of my wall at the default exterior and the bottom edge at default interior. I do not have those linked. I will also leave the wall height at 10 feet, which is, for us right now, great. We're going to design a little hunting cabin. I have the sketch right here on the desk with me. I can look at it while I work. Now, I'm going to simply start with that. I'm going to look at my walls. My walls allow me to do circular walls, polygonal walls, etc. They also allow me to change the geometry or where I drag from. In other words, if I drag, that dark side of that line is the outside of my house. That's the side the siding's going on. I don't want the siding inside my house, so I will very likely start and figure out, okay, which way am I dragging around my structure? In this case, I'm going to drag around clockwise, so I'm going to simply change my drawing tool so my drag line is on the outside of my house or on the left side of my wall as I'm going up the screen. That does it left and top side as I drag clockwise around. So I'm going to simply just get my line pointed the right direction, make sure the angle is right, and then type in the distance I want, in this case 25 feet. Once I hit enter, it's going to set that wall at exactly 25 feet. It assumes feet no matter what it says. If I type in a number and hit enter, you don't have feet and inches. It does understand the feet and inch mark with the apostrophe and the quotation mark. But right now I'm just going to go and do a 25-foot wall followed by a 20-foot wall to my right. And then I'm going to do a 2-foot wall that comes straight down the screen. And now you do need to pay attention to your cursors. The check mark means it attaches to a node or a known point. The Mercedes bar changes, pops up once in a while when we attach to midpoints, etc., etc. There's also different pen tools as it pops up. Some are black pens, some are white pens. Depending on what you're doing, you'll pick the one that works best for your situation. Right now, I'm simply going to finish going around this building. It is roughly 25 by 35 at its maximum dimensions. So I've got it. Actually, I think it's 25 by 30 now that I think about it. But we're going to simply go in. Now, as I drag straight down, if I want to line up with that front edge of the building, I can, if I drag my cursor out, it's going to go at an angle. I want to line up at that point right there. Well, I need to get my line going in the right direction. If I hold my shift key down, which is something that's going to be very important to me, I can actually lock my axis and then drag over and line up exactly with that wall right there. But look at my pen tip, it changes. Once I've got that, I can then finish my wall by simply drawing out the last couple of little pieces, and I'll work my way through this.